Can't be over there. How you all doing? Last essay engineer sends after me.
Wait, you got it all wrong.
Fuck me, buddy. I'll kick your ass so hard you have to unbutton your collar to shit.
That's not what you think. Gennaro did hire us. But this ain't a hit. Gennaro doesn't want anything to happen to you. We're your bodyguards.
Time to go to the mattresses. James Flowers. Look what they did to my boy. All right, so I'm going to give you the scores and then we'll dive in. But I want to remind you one thing. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. No, today is the end of the month. So the criminals are criming out in the open to make sure that the price looks good on the month end runs that the regulators see, the margin desk sees, their clients see. It's all fake. It's all fake. But all right, let's just go with what we got. That's true, Star SS. You're not going to get the dividend if you buy it after April 15th. But don't get alarmed with that. You know, the dividend is not the be-all, end-all for you personally or me personally. The dividend's meant to catch out the system, to cause the system to enforce the rules of settlement that Gary Gensler assiduously avoids. All right, let me give you some quotes first, and then I'll start reading your questions. Top, T-O-P, W-T-O-P, 164. 164. It's up 720% today. TOP, I'm not telling you to buy it for sure, but TOP was $7 yesterday morning. It went as high as $2.50 overnight. It came, they traded early morning. They drove it all the way down under 50. And I predicted that to somebody this morning. And then it's running back up. Why is that relevant? Because when GTII trades, this kind of roller coaster, if you can think of the view of Alps, Alpine, it's going to be like that. And it's 5.6 million shares. I have no idea of the story. It's all manipulated. I wouldn't be surprised if Ken Griffin has something to do with it. 5.6 million traded today. And it's a huge play. So they go when they go, you know. They go when they go. BBBY is finally to 10 cents. I don't know why it's still up, other than maybe short covering. But if you're still in why Bed Bath and Beyond, you'd be better off in Vocal. Now HKD, an old friend, was up as high as $9 today. 10 million shares traded. 121 today, up 121 at 7.99. There's a little stock which I know nothing about. MEGL that Ham put up this morning. It opened at 418, traded as low as, I don't know why my eyes are failing me late in life. Traded as low as 282 and went as high as 587. Right now it's 419. It's a similar, it might be a similar thing as TOP. Who knows? But what I noticed about that stock, Mary Edward God Larry, is in August it was $250 a share. So maybe they're just trading in sympathy with TOP. But remember, it's all crime. It's all manipulated. I'm not recommending you hop on top of that tiger. GTII is 149, down 3 cents. 148 by 50, 514 shares. We'll talk about GTII, but and they had news today, but this is all fraud. It's the end of the month. As Ham always says, I don't know how they're still standing. But congratulations, Kurt Kramer, if you're out there. I understand that you made a killing and you're proud of yourself. Congratulations. HNRC that we talked about is 19 cents, 18.8, and I looked more closely. The value of HNRC minus X WHDI is $1.50 a share. $1.50 a share. Let me get a couple more quickly. Vocal, we'll give you the quote. 11.5, 10.35 to 11.5. I would swap out a B, B, and Y for that, or for almost anything that's not going to go to zero in the short run. GoLogic was up to over 3, and right now it's 230, 211, 238, 4,460 shares again. It's the end of the month. It's that same dynamic. They want to be able to go to their investors, go to their margin clerk, go to the regulators and say, hey, it's not as bad as you think. So I expect GoLogic to start lifting up again sometime next week. Logic is 44 cents, 41 cent bid, 46 cent ask. It's only 10,000 shares traded today. Same story. And let me just, Finger is $1.70, 170 to 174, low volume. I don't know how they can just keep doing all of this out in the open. No one cares. No one enforces. It's almost, I don't know what it is. All right, I'm going to just get GTII up here. And the last thing I'm going to do before I read your commentary, there'll be a call at 3:30, and we can keep track of how many times Ham says again. Or we can keep track of how many times he says okay. Or we can keep track of how many times he says it's all fraud. All right. GTI had news this morning. I just want to read that, then I'll read your comments. So April 28th, Global Tech Industries to reward GTII shareholders with one common stock dividend for every 10 shares held. GTII announced today that it has officially begun the process of issuing shares of common stock to all shareholders. I don't like what's happening to my eyes. Of issuing shares of its common stock to all shareholders who held shares as of April 15th, 2023. Any shareholder who held GTII shares either at Liberty Stock Transfer Inc. or in the street name at a broker-dealer or brokerage firm will be issued 1 share of restricted common stock for every 10 shares held. Liberty will issue shares to shareholders, which will be automatically added to shareholder totals on the shareholder list. Shares will also be issued to DTC and shareholders who hold shares in broker-dealers or brokerage firms should it's a run-on sentence, so I'll just do the last half of that sentence. Shareholders who hold shares in broker-dealers or brokerage firms should contact them directly to make sure their shares are added into their personal accounts. David Reichman made a comment, and he appreciates your support. I have to make a phone call, so I'm going to turn the volume off. And girls, if you're hesitating buying GTII, I suggest over the next hour and 10 minutes, it's your decision, it's your pleasure, but I suggest that now I have never seen a better time to buy an Oriental rug. There has never been a better time to buy an Oriental rug. You know, I met those guys in New York, those Oriental rugsters that had that commercial. I don't know if you hear that commercial around your parts of town, but I have never seen a better time to buy GTII than right now. And in fact, I might just follow. What you have to excuse me, I'll do it out loud. But one of the things, I've missed a couple trades because I'm talking with you all. And I think this time I'm not going to miss this trade. I think this time I'm going to try. A little bit harder. Gonna try just a little bit harder. I'm gonna try just a little bit harder. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, in front of you as I speak, I'm making a modest making a modest okay. So I just, as a matter of record for all of you, I just bought. Oh no, I don't know if I did buy it. Let me look. I better keep my mouth shut. Hush your mouth. They're not giving it to me. All right, I bought 100. So I'll say, okay, I see that. I bought another 100. Okay, I see that. I bought 800. Okay. See that. That's still not quite my order. Ah, see, they're very sneaky, these bastards. These bastards. They're very sneaky. Okay, that's canceled. They're not filling it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I did it at $14.99. Are you out of your mind? Now they did it again. I bought 100, bought 100. They are being bastards to me. Bastards. Okay, screw it. Got to go back here. Got to go back to orders. Sorry, they're moving the ask, and it's leaving me quite frustrated. Okay, they canceled that. All right, they got me to pay more. All right, so now let me tell you what I did. So you have full, well, it's not going to tell me. All right, so I'll just tell you, I just bought $1,000 GTII for an average price of 1.499. I bought 300 GTII for a price of 151. And I bought 800, darn it, for a price of 152. And I'm telling you, if you have some shekels that you've been saving and you think, I'm going to wait for the stock price to go down, if you think that you're going to get it cheaper on Monday, are you out of your mind? What are you smoking? All right, so right now it's 151 to 152. Last trade 151.5. And it's 151 to 152. Last trade 151.5. Is that Derek or Jenny? Welcome back, Jenny. I know, MKC, wouldn't it have been amazing? Now I'm going to start answering your questions because I've done my housekeeping. Wouldn't it have been amazing to own just even 100 shares? of that TOP. Pico's Bill. Pico's Bill. Pico's Bill. I just found out I missed on an oil deal I was working on. I thought it was gone. It came back and somebody else did it. I had a shot to get it done. I'm kicking myself. But hey, oil deals are like girlfriends. If you miss one, there will be another one coming down the track. Or is that like trains, metro trains? Or if you hang around at the barber shop, sooner or later you get a haircut? Hi, son. Kevin. Payco's Bill. What's MEGL doing? Mega Millions. Let's see what Mega Millions is doing. 411. That would have been fun to buy at the low, sell at the high. Hey, Jenny, Rebecca. Your ever loving husband came on yesterday, and we all, in our own ways, said a prayer for your tests and recovery and good health, and generally extended our best wishes. GTII went green. Oh, Avid has a space call going on. Well, I'm not going to go on the space call because at 3:30, Ham's going to have a call. So I'd rather talk with you. But if, you want to listen to, Avid's great. And I don't mind. I won't have hurt feelings if you listen to it while you listen to me or something. I just don't think it's in my best. It's not additive. It's not STP if I go over and listen to him. And normally I would, literally in 28 minutes, Ham's going to be on a call. So let's just see if we can go through some of your questions. But let's quickly look at GTII. 152, 153. I'm telling you guys, I can't promise anything. I can't give you specific advice. But if you've been waiting to find the right price to buy GTII, I think now is the time. I have never seen a better time to buy an Oriental rug. Do you remember those commercials? You probably don't remember those commercials. 151, 154. And I put my money where my mouth is right now. I know it's not a big order to guys like Pico's Bill, but to buy, what did I buy? Let's see what I plunked down in front of you. I did approximately, let me just see. I hope I didn't leave a balance. No balance. Okay, so transactions. I can't tell. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. When all your love's in vain. I followed her to the station. Wah, wah. A suitcase in her hand. Yes, I followed her to the station. I don't know. I think I did about approximately $7,000, which I know is not a lot to you guys. No, it wasn't $7,000. It was $3,000, even less. I did about $3,000 worth of buying GTII right in front of you. And that's what I could do right now. I'm not trying to say that you have to do it, but I'm saying if you are in this stock because you'd like to participate in the potential, not a guarantee of a short squeeze, and you're looking for the catalyst, the time, I'm going to suggest to you that the time is now. All right, let's hey, Diana Pants. I did go to those, but they don't give the dollar. They give the amount and the price, but they don't give the cash amount. But basically, I just bought, I'll tell you what I bought. I bought 2,100 shares at basically $1.50. So I bought some of it at 149.9 and some at 151, some at 152. So basically at $1.51. What's booping on GTII today for the buy, Bill? I can't. There's 6 or 7 triggers going on, and it's one of them. It's one of them. But I want to also emphasize, you got to make your own decision. It's got to fit within your risk parameters. I can't give you advice. And if you don't buy, it's not the end of the world. Don't get all nervous if you don't buy. It's not, if you already have a position, it's just fine. It's just fine. It's for those of you, because there's several people that have said to me on the phone and otherwise, well, I'm going to wait till it pulls back. And I saw that ARCA is saying it could pull back a little bit further. And remember one thing about these technical guys, when they give you charts and they say, you know, doom spot this and Fibonacci that, and you know, I saw your mama at the neighbor's house. They do all that, and it works. But part of the reason it works, the criminals have those same charts. So they start strumming your face with their fingers. Moody Waters just picked up 1,000 shares of an Oriental rug. Brian Main, at these prices, it's definitely the time to get into GTII. Chris Griffith, another 50 bought. I've never seen a better time to buy an Oriental rug. I think those were the Pervasian brothers or something. I met them in New York, I'm telling you. I actually met them a while ago. They wouldn't remember me. But I said, are you really those guys? Joe bought 5,000 more. Bravo, Joe. Why am I bullish? Here's what I'll tell you. And I'll use my Karl Rove, my new Karl Rove tactics. These are all things I've said on videos, so it's and most of it's out there. One just was announced, the Dividend, which was restricted shares. That has a potential to catch out the shorts over the next few weeks. Two, the Kramers are out of the trade. They're out of the trade. They made their killing. Now they're just circling the wagons. So the Kramers are out, which means they're not selling. It also means maybe that one of them have sold out the other, or they sold out Charlie Mayo. I'm going to combine two of these in terms of Westpac, that when they defrauded the Westpac office / Alpine, even though Alpine got an extension and in fact got rescued, from what I read, the DOJ and FBI are still speaking, and there's movement on that guy out at that branch of Westpac, and there's whistleblowers at Alpine. So there's the law. Johnny Law is after Kurt Kramer. One 800 law firm. 1-800 law firm. May 15th is the deadline. Now they could always extend it, but according to It's Still Me Albee, who I trust, I've spoken to him I think once on the phone, and he used to come on here, but I trust him. And he put up on Twitter within the last 24 hours that what went on there is the original auditor was not up to the task. They did replace that auditor, and so the new auditor will meet this deadline according to him. So that's coming. That's only 2 weeks away. The West Christian law firm is going on. The West Christian law firm lawsuit is going on. The discovery, the 50 John Does, the asking for times and sales, trying to find, and we can lump into this category that gentleman that works with Wes, Mark Belial, who has asked for blue. I guess he's doing it for MMTLP, but that's happening here too. That's going to happen here too. So anyway, and then there's also going to be a dividend released on blockchain once that lawsuit gets locked in. I don't think this has been per se discussed in news releases or anywhere else, but GTII is in the business. It's sort of an incubator. It's sort of a SPAC. It's sort of it acquires companies in return for stock and then builds up their record keeping. The companies float, they go away, and the stock's returned. So there's the potential for acquisitions of any number of different things. And then one of the acquisitions that is out there and it's me Albee is also written about that. Is Trento Mines. And I think the Trento Mines deal is very much alive. And, in my judgment, that could come down any day, any week. Finally, I ran out of room like I said I knew I would. Because I told you, I'm no good. I think there's going to be some buy-ins. That 19 million share order is out there, and they are not the Kramers. They're probably not Alpine. It's probably friends of Alpine, friends of the Kramers, and they don't want to be in this idiotic, stupid trade. And I think the pressure is going to build for that buy-in. So that's my answer to your question. Why am I bullish? It's all the same. It's all the same reasons we've given all along. But I do emphasize, I've never seen a better time to buy an Oriental rug. Well, Joe, I hope you're right. From your keyboard to God's ears because we've been waiting a while. It's been difficult, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's the list. It's not a bad list, is it? As far as lists go. The longer it takes, the bigger the reward. TAA Strupp, 43. Man. It'll happen to you if you live long enough, but these youngsters. All right, so Chuck Donau, just be ready to hold. It's been a year so far. Well, that's it, Chuck. Guys, I think the timing's perfect to buy right now. I think all of the things you're looking for to set up an explosive move are in place. Does it mean it's going to go? I'm not, I'm not Merlin the magician. I can't tell. I don't have a crystal ball. But everything is in place. So if it's going to go, these are the kinds of things that you would want in place before it went. And that's kind of where I see it. Oh, and I did forget about Ham, Kamal. Ham is, your list is Mundava. Is that like Wunderbar? Are my lips, I don't like what's happening to my lips. I do not like what's happening to my lips. Your lips are on. How do I fix that? Nightmare. How do I fix this nightmare? Oh, I'm on the beauty effect? What's the beauty effect? I don't want to be on the beauty effect. I'll be on the color effect, maybe. Beauty effect? Off. Ah, it's off. I hope it's off. Man, that was disturbing. That was disturbing. All right, so Chris Adams, court decision on Alpine delayed to May 28th. I thought they dismissed everything from what I read today. I like that lyrical assassin. The heat is on. It's on the street. The heat is on. All right, let me see if I can get some of your other messages that I totally ignored without meaning to. Coda, hi. Dave, hi. Cindy Lou, afternoon. AAA, AA, Tri-AA, hi. Peter Udoka, yeah, you're great. Frank, hi. Jason, hi. James Flowers. Hey Mo, Jason Z, Chuck Donau, Andy. Thank you, Linda Telly. He's asleep. He's a good boy. Yeah, it's but the rains, and I like rainy days too. You need them. Hey, Robert Sagano. Decoto, I don't know if it's all smoke. I don't think the 19 million shares is all smoke, but they're trying to play it, and they don't want to buy. They don't want to buy that in before the end of the month because they don't want heat from their clients and from regulators. So I called Fidel and they said the DTC hadn't issued that makes sense because today's the date that the company authorized its transfer agent to deliver the shares. So it makes sense they haven't received them yet. Hey, Jenny L. Zon Carr. See you in DC next month. Star SS. No, you're not. I already answered that. You're not eligible. Never mind. Intro music should be Cypress Hill. Do you remember that show Blues with the policeman, Hill Street Blues? Hey, blessings to you, Robert. They are scamming, Peter. Hello again. Hello. Just call Bama Lake. Sergio, hello. Kamal, hey, Chris, Frank. It's been a long war, but it's been a long battle, but we'll win the war. D. Croteau, who starts these rumors? I know, isn't it something? It's almost as if people make these rumors up from whole cloth. And it's like they're trying to manipulate the markets the way your friends do. D. Croteau, where that rumor came from was 2 or 3 months ago. And then recently, from Switzerland, via a Utah call, what do you call that? You know, the call digits from Utah, a short, it must be a short, called directly into the executive office of GTII twice in the last couple of weeks to see if GTII would be willing to sell 19 million shares. So the rumor, as you call it, is actual factual. It's not going to be in a press release. It's not going to be on a light shining up on the clouds like Batman. It's not going to be on CNN. But the criminals called GTII and asked if GTII would issue 19 million shares. They called twice. And might have called 3 times. You know what the answer was? Hell no. Feels like an insider trading kind of thing. No, it's not. I don't have news that hasn't been widely dispersed. So no, it's not insider trading at all. I'm just emphasizing to you, I'm not telling you which one, but I'm emphasizing to you the news. It's all been out there already, Marcelo Mena. So it's not insider trading. And by the way, Marcelo Mena, the criminals, they manipulate, they communicate, they sell, and that's okay. I like that, Frank McLean. I don't want an intelligent general. I want a lucky general. I don't want well, lucky's intelligent for a dog, and he's lucky. Well, William Lefebvre, I read there's only 6 minutes to go, so I'm not going to read it now. I read that it was dismissed. They got rid of their deficiency. Good afternoon, Jenny. I'm doing all right, Jenny L. Jenny Rebecca. Could it be artificial intelligence? Rita Alley Bronx Girl. You said it. I didn't. Or is it Derek? How rude. Read the second part of the announcement. All right, I will, but I don't have time right now. Bought 2,000 today. I think that you're going to be happy with that. But someone cautioned, get ready to wait maybe. So that's, we all know the risks that we've bought before, we've been excited before, and then we still had to wait. But Steve on Guinness, it's the booze that's making you like the stream. Barbara L, hello. Moody Waters. AC, how are you? I got to call into the hamster very quickly. MKC, I'm running to Eddie Eagle, 149.9. What you buy? I bought GTII just now. You just bought 500, came in 7 different orders. They don't really want to sell it to you. Well, don't worry. Whatever amount of GTII you have is enough. Yeah, the dividend payable tomorrow, Maddie, is a very bullish reason. All right, so I'm going to call in for the hamster. I'm so annoyed with myself. I've been distracted by doing this.
Welcome and thank you for choosing freeconferencecall.com.
I should have focused on that oil deal. Anyway.
Muted.
There's always another deal. Always another deal. Reader, I think you did a good thing buying it. Yeah, Hamster's voice. It's because you're from the Bronx and he's from Brooklyn. That's why you love him. You fell in love with a guy from Brooklyn when you were young. And your dad told you to stay away from him. That's why you love him. Moon. Yeah, I think it's today, actually, B. Bryce, because tomorrow is a Saturday. Moon River. Let me give the price to you before Hamster comes on. 155. Well, they're not going to keep it down today. It doesn't look like it. Up 3 cents, 634,000 shares, 154 to 155. 154 to 155. Travis M. Doesn't it? Travis, you're running out. Doesn't it seem like a hedge fund or two has been tipped off by a regular with these reactions to stop me? Yeah, but I also wonder, Travis, if, at least in the case of that Mega Millions one, MEGL, I wonder if all the trading's in China, so everyone's asleep right now, and it'll pick up after hours. I don't know. I married one, but he turned out to be an idiot. Well, how sweet it is to be an idiot. All right, 154, 155. Well, the shares being blockchained, I don't think the dual listing is happening right away, obviously. Can't buy on Wells Fargo or Webull. But B. Price, the dividend that's going to represent West Christian's proceeds potential from the lawsuit will be what you say. It'll be blockchain. Spiny Norman, wildfire audit results officially given cryptid status. I'm not sure what cryptid status means, but encrypted, cryptid, crypt, ED, cryptid status. They're in a crypt. So what do I do with the dividend? Do they trade like normal stocks? I get the short theory, but I do not know what to do when I get them. Oopsie, I aped my pants. Well, if it works and causes stress on the system and they start buying in the shares, you're not going to care about that dividend. But you're not going to be able to trade that dividend until they lift the restriction, which will probably be about 6 months.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's Friday. Again, this is not to buy or sell. This is for educational about making short selling for the 1,000th time. We'll start off by talking about the GTII and the news about the this Alpine getting another delay for 20-something days, whatever it may be. Listen, we started this fight without Alpine, not knowing Alpine, couldn't give a shit about Alpine. We know that the Kramers were the shorts, because of the debenture and what their past history is about. Giving us Alpine and the proof from the DTC, it's just a matter of when the hammer's coming down. All right, so we just go along to the fight. These guys are getting extensions. I don't know why. I think it's the DTC unwinding and seeing what they have here. That could be the problem. There's no reason to give these guys an extension. All right, so we're not here for this. It was a gift from the gods, and you have to look at it that way. Don't be looking at it as the end of the world. These guys are criminals. They got caught, and they're not going away. The DTC is the most powerful organization in the United States. All right, and they expose them, and they're not going to let them go, because if these guys blow up, it kills the DTC. Their members are not going to be happy. Their members are Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Bank of America, you name it. They own the DTC. And to lose $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion because of Alpine, trust me, they're not here to protect these guys. All right, so get over that and just deal with it. I don't want to hear, the game's over, it's all nonsense. We never mentioned Alpine for 2.5 years. We just got that information, I think, in January or February. I can't remember. I never even knew that they were under a lawsuit with the SEC and FINRA. Okay, so that's not the game. The game was brought to us by the Kramers. They shorted it. They walked away. We're hearing stories that these guys are preparing for major lawsuits. Obviously, if they're going to prepare for major lawsuits, okay, that came from someone in their camp. If they're preparing for major lawsuits, that means that the SEC has probably served them. Because I'm not suing them. West isn't suing them. So who's suing them? It's got to be the SEC. All right, so eventually they'll unwind the tickets, and the money flow will go right back to these guys. This is a major crime. These guys are probably trying to hide whatever they're doing. With the DTC, hiding accounts offshore. People getting calls from people in Switzerland. Things are happening. Again, it's just a matter when it's going to happen. All right, these guys can sit here and keep shorting it. The stock has got a little late surge here. People buying it, and they've been shorting into it. A friend of mine bought 100, he said, and they moved it up 2 cents. He says OTCN has been hopping around, blasting them. So we know where the shorts are coming through. They're coming through the platform. We can all see it, all right? Accumulation is the key, not the spikes, and I just wanted to bring it up to date on that. As far as this TOP, again, I told you I was brought to my attention 2 months ago. I posted, I had no idea who told me, I can't remember who told me to watch it, who told me, somebody told me, I can't remember. And I posted it in my little groups. I did it every day for a bunch of days, and I kept putting TOP. Again, so I don't know, probably took a note, I can't find it. That's what happens when you sell too many shares. The shorts get caught, they get roasted. Last night was the buy-in. That's a prime broker buying in a short seller, and he paid up to $260 for it. Other shorts came in, guys that's naked short without a borrow because you can't short the stock, and they knock it down, and now you got these wild swings all over the place. All right, you can see it up, down. If you're a long playing this game, you're out of your mind. Again, these are short sellers. We all know it's the short at the top, but we're not allowed to do it. Again, you can naked short it, but again, the risk here is too crazy. Imagine shorting 10,000 shares yesterday at 90, and it goes to 260. Okay, people were blowing out, these small day trading guys who keep trying to make it short. A guy like Timmy Sykes, those day trading places, they short these things and they got to cover by the end of the day. Those guys get blown out. I'm sure there's 50 or 100 guys. They got wiped out yesterday. Okay, the only reason that I'm even reporting on naked shorts is because that is the risk reward, is what you saw. We know the risk. You saw the reward. That's the game. If you see the documentation, the education, and understand what's going on here, then you understand what you can make on the upside. All right, that's the game. Nothing else. Everything else is it. All the moves that are being made are to trap and expose these guys. The system is completely broken. The criminals are hiding things offshore. We all know what they're doing. All right, we all know that they're not reporting it to the government. We got it. We got dividends. The company gave out 30 billion dividends. The brokerage firms are now on the hook with the 30 million shares. Those are restricted shares. So eventually they're going to have to call and look for it. and we all know that no one's going to deliver it, and it's just a matter of time before this gets exposed. And if they want to play games here, we have West Christian monitoring everything that's going on as far as the dividend. This trap is just getting worse and worse. It's like the Chinese little fingers, the handcuffs. The more you wiggle, try to get out of it, the tighter it's going to get. Okay? These guys are buffoons that are doing this stuff. They've been looting for a long time. This is the bottom of the barrel naked short sellers that we have here. Okay? This is what they do. Obviously, you can see GTI just started going up a little bit, and they try to keep holding it down, selling the 100 shares at 153. They won't let it go up. I guess at the end of the month, they need to mark it down. End of the month, when they try to mark it down, that is the best time to buy these stocks because they're trying to hold it down. Okay, if you want to accumulate size, this is the day to do it. Professional people know how to do it. Okay, these guys are trying to mark it down, meaning that if they can mark it at $1.50, shows their firms or their clients that they're in the black and they get paid compensation based on the closing mark. They mark stocks up in the big board. You always see it. The market always seems to rally at the end of a quarter. All the big stocks always surge and you get a big markup. Okay, those are the funds marking up their positions. Okay, they do it to the long side, they do it to the short side. It goes both ways. Okay, but at the end of the month, we can see the stock, they just keep manipulating it down, washing it back and forth. Based on today's trading, I would say early in the day it was probably 60% of it was washed. Now I'm going to say that at the end of the day here with like 700,000 shares trading, I'm going to say the short position is going to be at least 400,000 out of 600, maybe a little bit more. Okay, because people are actually buying it because I know a couple of big players have wanted to step in at the end of the month and they started buying it. And that's what I wanted. That's one of the reasons I had a call, is because I wanted to let you know that end of the month is where they try to mark it down. End of the month is where smart people start accumulating it. They buy it. Whatever the reason is that they're buying it, they told me at the end of the month and they're buying it. Just to change it for a second, I'll jump onto finger motion. I'm hearing that finger motion got a letter from Lynn Partners saying that they violated their agreement and that the company raised money and that they want more shares. These guys are just criminals. They're like the mafia trying to shake them down. Okay? The company raised money, and what I was told is the company offered it to Lynn, and they turned it down. Okay? They just told me to look at HUDI of $9. I don't even know what that is, but it's one of $9. Harry Uncle David Indian. Okay, it's another, I guess, Chinese company. Okay, it's up $9.50 right now. So, again, things turn in a second. Short sellers get roasted. I don't know why it's this one versus that one. I can't tell you that. I don't follow all the stocks. I only follow a few. Okay? And the reason I report on it is so that you can see what happens as long as you believe what's going on here. If you can see the short and believe the data and see everything that's going on, that is why we're here, and you can see the outcome. Again, HUDI is a new play. I have no idea what it is, but it's up 10. When I short it, you're out of your mind if you play these things. Again, it's very dangerous both ways. Good luck. You can play it. If you do play it, you buy 1,000 shares, sell 900, make profit on it, hold on to 100. Maybe you get 100 points in it. All right? So this is how they operate. This is how they break. When they do break, you can see the reward. Okay? The reason I report it, so you can understand how to trade these things. You can see the spikes in it. These are stocks that HUDI, for example, I know nothing about it. I don't even know what they do. I know nothing about it. I don't know if there's a short in it, nothing. All right, so if I did buy it, I would flip it for $1, $2, and be happy I made myself a couple of $1,000. In GTII, we know everything about it. We reported the data for 2.5 years. Okay, there's proof that there's shorts from the DTC. How they haven't hung these guys, that's not my business. I'm not a judge. I'm not nothing to do with that. But again, all the documentation shows you what's going on. Think about when you see a stock like a GTI when it starts to run, and it goes up $1, and you're long the stock, and you've been here for 2 years. Are you going to flip it to make $1? Most people wouldn't. If you have the education, you understand what the potential is for this stock. You make your own determination on how to sell it. I told you, sell small pieces, get your money off the table a little at a time. And this way you can stay when it goes to, let's hopefully go $200, $300, $400, $500. You can actually still make sales. even if it's 100 shares every $20. That's the way you make a sale. That's how you stay in the game longer. I just saw the stock go 155, 156, and obviously there's always the 8,600. The SEC allows this stuff to happen. Nobody on this phone, no one here is doing this stuff. You can follow the sell tickets. They ain't coming back to me. That's for shit sure. All right? So, again, I don't have access to do this thing. These guys do it from offshore. They're so brazen that obviously they're doing it from someplace else, not within the country. All right? Just like we heard the guy from Switzerland. They're short 19 million shares. We heard about TD Bank and Schwab, but they're merging. We heard they're short 70 million. When do they buy it in? I don't know, but when they do, it's going to be a bloody death. All right, so we're not going away. You know, the company's done everything possible. Now, I had no idea that GNS, the company, settled and paid off the settled with the short sellers in that name. And now I know why the stock got destroyed. Okay, once you bend and you break to these guys, they destroy your company. He was better off fighting to the death and see them in a court than bending over and let these guys kill this company. All right? He started out strong, Roger, but he folded like a tent. I don't know why he did it. I'm not him, but he's the CEO of that company. But again, it doesn't make a difference which your business is. They destroyed his company. For those that are not paying attention, MULN threw his hat in the ring today a little bit. You know, he has it on a string. He pulls it in and out. But he waited too long, and he destroyed his own company. All right? I helped him out. I gave him all the information, how to do it, and he didn't do anything. He let the stock just get killed. All right? That's another guy. He had the chance to be a leader in this game, and he ran away. You know, again, GNS, he had the chance. He had these guys dead, and he settled with them. I didn't even know that till today. I like to thank Bill for telling me that. I had no idea. All right, where does it go from there? I have no clue. All right? If you're going to fight, you got to go the distance. GTI has shown you that they're not taking the money, and they're fighting to the end. All right? We have the DTC with proof. We have data that shows it. There's discrepancies. There's 100 things going on here. I can't remember them all. All right? But we know where the short is coming from. We know it comes out of Long Island and the Kramers. That was the originator. Everything about their past points the fingers to them. And just like a bank robber, you think you got away, they always wind up getting caught. All right? They think that money trail is not going to get to them. These guys, the same heads, the same LLCs they've been using, the same money trail. There's people that are giving them up now, people at Alpine, there's people at Scottsdale that are giving up the network of people through this, through Alpine, the clearing, the prime broker. They know the accounts, they know where they wired the money. And when they start to give up, they start to get, you know, the FBI telling them the stories. Let's see what happens then. There's always somebody who knows something. These guys are probably bragging, talking, you know, everybody knows that happens. All right, so again, they can talk shit, do what they have to want, do whatever they want. All the sell tickets, they don't go away. All right, always leads to the money. All right, so I gave you a couple of things. I can't remember everything about what the hell I wanted to say. But I just wanted to touch base with you that, you know, the company's doing deals. Let them finish what they're doing. If you don't like what they're doing, then if the story changes in any stock or any rumored name you're ever playing in, if the story changes, then you have to move away. All right, but if the story doesn't change and the company's continuing to move in the right direction, all right, that's when you stay in the game. All right, that's the way I was taught. If the story changes and you don't like it, you got to get out. But if the story's still the same, getting stronger, if you can't see the short sellers trying to hold it down, there was about 300,000 shares purchased, and the stock went up 3 cents. 300,000 shares, the stock could go up 3 cents. It was trading 300,000 all day. We're up to 700,000 now, three something, whatever it is. And they still sit there trying to hold it down by offering size. I don't know who it is. Let me just take a look. Give me 1 second. I was off that page. And I was told that OTCN was hitting people before. And I just wanted to let you know that. Hold on. I'm going to D.C. on Wednesday. Hopefully I have a couple of meetings set up with some powerful people. So we have the same usual characters. GTSM has got the 5100, OTCN, same thing, you know, same characters. I got NITE. It used to be called Knight. I don't want to say it's Knight. It's Virtue now, I believe. Yeah, he's a bad guy. CSTI is just there for the 100 shares. They're trying to show you they have more market makers than we do. You know, that's the trick. All right? But again, at the end of the day, these guys need to try to hold it down. It doesn't make a difference for us. If it went to $2 or $3 today, most people wouldn't sell it. I know you go home and you think you're having a great weekend because it went up. If you're selling it and you want to trade these things, then it's important for you. For the rest of us, it's just another day getting closer to the finish line. Okay? This is the biggest security fraud in the U.S. history. It's the counterfeiting of the equity markets. It's everywhere. Okay? You can see it. MUN, GNS, they destroy everything. Okay, we're fighting everyone, and we're the only company in the front lines of this thing that I do believe, besides MMTL, which is basically locked down until they get their blue sheet investigation. Once that blue sheet investigation comes out, that game is going to get real hot real fast, and that will spill over to companies like GTII and FNGR. All right, once that blue sheet comes out and everybody can see what's going on, how big is the short? Or if they're going to fight it and not it won't give the blue sheets, then we all know how big it really is because if they're hiding it. All right, so either way, the SEC and FINRA are screwed. Either way, it's going to help GTII and Finger and all the companies that are trading because we all know, everybody knows that the fraud is here. West Christian's in the door. They can't hide it forever. Judges are going to expose it. It's just a matter of time. We're going to D.C. We're going to have good employment. So we'll expose it there. Trust me, the names of the criminals will be in black and white, handed it to them. They can all read it. They'll all be explained to everyone. We're not letting us get away. All right? It's easy to explain the MMTLP story, the GTI story. We attach the names. Finger motion story. We attach the names. Listen, break 3, break 4 of these criminals, and the whole thing starts to tumble. All right? This is how you break it down. I can't shoot a shotgun and hit 50 short sellers at one time. We're going to sniper them one at a time. And again, we're not going to stop. Okay? We have Anna. We have great people behind us. Everyone's working hard. The people from MMTLP. I told you, the worst thing that's happened to those people, they've been locked in. But the best thing that's happened is that they all buckled up and have been fighting for 130 days, whatever it is now, helping to expose this fraud. Right? To me, they're our greatest troops. They've been on the front line, standing here fighting, and just won't give up. All right? Even though everything's in their favor, not one is quit. They're both standing here fighting and trying to expose it, and it helps everyone on the phone. But people one guy posted, why would I post about TOP? I don't give a shit about TOP. I'm trying to explain to you. And I told him if it's gonna bother you, I block them. I don't need to hear about it. I'm trying to educate you about it. I'm trying to teach you how stocks trade when you do get a short squeeze so you know what to do. I'm not here trying to hype the stock, say, well, TOP is going to go. Every other short squeeze stock is going to go. That's not true. All right? Obviously, someone's running around like the HUDI. They're hopping from one stock to the other. If I was part of the group that squeezed TOP, why wouldn't you jump into HUDI? Right? They made 100 points, 200 points. What? They could buy up the whole goddamn company up 10 points. Right? So be leery, be careful when you chase these names. I know nothing about it, I don't like to throw darts anymore. That part of my life is over with. All right? I was a big dart thrower back in the days. Give me a stock, give me a symbol. I was in it. I know nothing about it. Now more, I'm going to study it. I'm going to figure it out. And I'm not looking to make 25 cents. I'm looking to make $25, $50, $100 a trade. All right? I'm not here for that. If I wanted to do that, I can trade Tesla all the time. I told you that. If you guys have ants in your pants and you want to trade and you think you're great at it, go play something with volatility every day. Go trade a Tesla, go trade Apple, knock yourself out. Another thing is these chart guys. I do believe that the chart guys could be plants by the shorts. With I don't know this guy, whatever his name is, I forget his name. Ace, I think it is, or whatever his name, or Archer, whatever, I can't remember who's who. But he keeps putting the charts, he keeps saying, well, I see the stock going to $1, I keep seeing that. And as he says that all the time, the stock always makes that move consistent of what he's putting out in his charts. I see the upside is 10, but I think you go from $1.60 to $1, I can see it down at $1. Ace is the plant. Okay, I didn't know which one it was. Okay, so Ace is out here putting up his stories on these things. Charts don't work when you have security fraud. All right? That's get over it, and it's not, and just stay away from these guys. There's no chart that's going to work. What's $1.50? They break it right through it. It's all nonsense. guys are just flooding the stock with counterfeit shares. Okay? So stop listening to these chart guys. Don't give them the view. They're giving you a hype. Oh, it's got a 200. I got to see $10 target. I see this. It's nonsense. When the stock breaks, it'll go. You can see it yourself. You don't need anybody. You don't have to sit. You can see it yourself. So please, again, I'm giving you. I tell the guy, go chart Apple. See how good he is charting Apple. Okay, because those stocks do react to charts and earnings. Nothing else does. It's all nonsense. They're trying to get views, and I think he's a plant by the bad guys trying to get people to say, oh, let me sell it at 160. I could buy it back at $1. Okay? I think that's nonsense. You make your own decision, but I don't believe the charts work in these stocks. I said it 1,000 times, and people keep calling me up about it, and this guy said that, and this guy said that. And then I watch the stocks, they all seem to act in the same way as what they're saying. So it could be them saying it for the shorts, and the shorts knocking it down, so that you don't think that this is the pattern. He's perfect on these levels. Okay, so again, be careful about those guys. I don't know them, and I don't recommend them. But again, if they're so good at it, tell them to chart big stocks for you. Let's see them go through that. These stocks are all manipulated. MULN, you name it. How do you pick a chart on these things? They're all manipulated. But anyway, going into the close here, I told you I have a couple of real smart guys that were buying it. They like to buy it into the end of the month because these guys will give you the best prices trying to knock it down. Don't ask me why they're trying to mark it down. Obviously, the only thing I can think about as working on the trading desk, they're trying to mark their positions in their favor so they can get compensated for the month of looting. They want to make sure that whoever they're working for pays them. Right? So they could be doing that. There's also a lot of wash trades going on. The other day I told you the short number went down 140,000 shares. Remember, follow the short. I always tell you, that's Kramer's mother. That's someone close to the crime family. You got to be an idiot to short 800,000 shares of stock at $1.60. The most you can make is $1.2 million, $1.3 million if the company goes to zero. It could take 100 years. So to pay and to stay short of stock that you can make $1.2 million, $1.3 million, and the most you can lose is infinite, is someone that is close to the crime and actually knows when they're going to attack and what they're doing. So for them to start to buy it back, the other day was that cross of at $1.52, 140,000, maybe it was off by 1,000, 2,000 shares. That's pretty much on the nose. It looks like someone was definitely, what they do is you go out there and bid, and they sell it to you exactly that number. All right? That's a cross. That's a wash trade. That's what we call a pre-arranged trade. The buyer and the seller know each other. Okay, so that's what you call that. That's another thing that we pass it to Wes. Okay, it's a pre-arranged trade. When they check out and get those tickets on the buyer and the seller, those things, they'll know exactly who is the buyer and who is the seller at the same spot. Okay? It's like you tell me, hurry up, go out there, I'm going to buy $1 million, you sell $1 million. No one does that. All right? So, again, listen, have a great weekend. Things are going to get better. We're here for the long haul. And, again, if the story changes, run away. I'll be the first guy to tell you, hey, the company's doing this, doing that, run away. As far as I see it, nothing's changed. It's only getting stronger. All right? The company's doing everything possible. You got another dividend. We have a lawsuit. Once the judge is supposed to rule on that, there'll be more dividends. I told you, the proceeds of the lawsuit. Okay? People say, what value does it have? Well, I just saw TD Bank had to pay a couple of $1 billion on a lawsuit. Wouldn't it be nice to get a piece of that action and have a piece of it? All right? For free. All right? So this company's doing everything possible. As high as the lawyers, you got the DTC going after Alpine. We know the Kramers are on the run. They're already gone. They're getting sued. Who knows who's suing them? Obviously, it's got to be the SEC. We'll see that on the tape soon. All right? And we'll go from there. Anyway, listen, the shorts still exist. They didn't cover. We traded 699,000 shares. I'm going to say the short position today is going to be at least 60, 62%, something like that. The only reason I know that because I know some people that have been buying. So they're selling it to them. They won't let it go up. OTCN, like I told you, has been holding blasted. He texted me that he's been getting hit by OTCN. Again, easy to follow the paper trail. If the story changes, run away. If the story's getting better and stronger, that's how you make the real money. Apple Computer, people stayed with it. I had friends, we owned it at $20 back in the day. Okay? I don't mind the 23. I thought I was a genius making 60 grand. All right? If I held on to it, I wouldn't be on this call talking to you guys anymore. All right? So I didn't follow the story. I was a trader. I was paid to make daily money, and that's what I did. All right? Of course, if I was in a coma, I'd be rich. I wouldn't have to be trading. I would just sell my Apple computer all day now. Anyway, listen, everyone, have a great weekend. We're not going away. Any questions, put up on Twitter, but I don't want to insult anybody. When I talk about stocks like TOP or HUDI now, I don't remember this stupid name, it's only to teach you and educate you about how this works, security fraud. All right, short squeezes, that's a whole other thing. You got to learn how to trade a short squeeze. But I am only here for a short squeeze. I'm here for the swing, and I documented it for 2.5 years. If you owned 1 million shares and it went up after 2.5 years and it went up to 100, would you be happy? I bet your ass you would be. So that's what this game is about. All right, I'm not here to make a quarter. I'm here for the home run play. Anyway, have a great weekend. If I hear anything good, I'll relay it. We'll have another call. All right, everyone, have a great day.
All right, you guys. Okay, this is 156 to 157. And I'm sorry I didn't ask your question, which I will ask. But the thing is, I can't talk to him. It's a one-way voice only. So, but I will get your question to him, and maybe he can put it on. Maybe he can put it on. Maybe he can put it on Twitter or next time he talks. So I'm looking to see who the gentleman is who told me. Anyway, I can't find it. So I have to go without it. So the final tally is, although I might have missed some, he said anyway 3 times. I think he probably said it more than that. He said again 17 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He said 32 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he said another word 45 times. Can you guess which was which? Can you guess which was which? Who was it that was having me count? Can't remember. I'm sorry, I just can't remember. And I couldn't find it. All right, so the vote is in. He said again 17 times. He said okay 32 times. He said all right 45 times. And somewhere in the last half, I started counting anyway, and it was 3 times. So if you want to get drunk, yeah, Hobbs. Okay, Hobbs. Someday they're going to say, there's the best counter in the world. All right, so Hobbs, if you want to get drunk next time, I would go with all right over okay. But either okay or all right is better than again. And all 3 beat anyway. Right now, you're seeing a 157 bid with a minute to go in GTII. 157 bid, 158, 3770, 5248 by 4300. Still a minute to go. 158 last trade, 157, 158, 712,000 shares, 157, 4248 to buy, 3220 to sell, 157 to 158. Last trade 158, up 3.95%. Last trade 1.575. The bastards 1.57 to 1.58. 1.58 last trade, and the closing price is 1.58. I think. Actually, I better check that. In the aftermarket, yeah. Closing price is 1.58, and afterward it closed 158 bid to 159. So congratulations to all of you who bought some at 1.499. Are you out of your mind? You hit the ass to make them short more. Well, they're certainly in some trouble, you know. So let me just go around the league. Over in Hong Kong, TOP closed at, I tell you, I hope my eyesight comes back. It's only been in the last couple of days. It closed at 108, TOP. Bing closed at 1083, 1072. They're giving you all the time to get out of that before it goes to zero. HKD, just to look at it, closed at 840, up $1.62. Vocal closed at 11.4. Telling you, you could swap out a BBBY to Vocal and have as good a chance to make money. HNRC 18.8. Finger 174. And Mega Millions closed at 4. It's at 404 in the aftermarket. We'll see what happens with that. And that's where I guess I'll stop right there and answer questions. Fidelity shows it at 155. Let me go back and make sure that I quoted it correctly, damn Yankee. I show last at 158 with 717,000 shares volume. MEGL. Dollar collapsed. I don't trust when a story gets out and everyone's talking about it. So let me ask you something. If you had savings, would you put it in China? Would you put it in Russia? I might put it in Russia. Would you put it in Iran? Would you put it in Brazil? Would you put it in Argentina? Would you even put it in the euro? I don't know. I don't think the dollar is going to collapse now. But I think for your planning in the future, you better remember this hubbub. Yeah, 155, 158, it's not a big difference. But what I like about for 158 CMS is that's 6 cents. These guys fight all day long. They were trying to keep it down. And this is going to print on their statements for the end of the month, up 6 cents, hundreds of millions of shares. That's a pain in the butt for them. And they got to cover a 10% dividend. So, on let's just call it 30 million shares they have to cover of that restricted dividend at $1.50. That's some quid. I don't care how much money Kurt Kramer made. Morty Board Generals, how can brokers deliver dividend if not bought publicly and the price moves? Well, the dividend's issued by the company, so the brokers don't have to buy it. And it's indifferent to price. It's the deal was one restricted common share distributed for every 10 common shares owned. Week and rest, I think AC. I think things are starting to percolate. And you know, I left one thing off of my list, which Ham brought up. I left two things off, actually. I left off the fact that it's end of the month, and I left off there's 19 million to buy. So it could be a good weekend. All right, so I'm going to go to 4:30, I think, because it's been a nerve-shattering experience for me, sir. I don't remember which movie that came out of. Been a nerve-shattering experience for me, sir. I don't remember, but it is a quote from a movie. I was worried T-Day wouldn't let me buy anymore. Well, anyway, so we'll see what... I think the key drivers that could be exciting this weekend are the dividend, of course, but I think that could take a little while. But I remember Fidelity's on high alert from the warrant. I think the 19 million shares to buy back could be dramatic. Maybe I did say it when I said buy-ins. Anyway, and then I think the ongoing investigation of Westpac / Alpine, you never know when that can happen. Yeah, I know Cindy Lou Who. I don't know what's wrong with my eyes. I guess it's something. But hey, Jenny L, I hope you're doing all right. I'll go another 20 minutes. I'll go to 4:30 because I didn't really answer anybody's questions. In terms, there was one gentleman wanted me to ask about will they let MMTLP trade and what will happen. They can do it. They'll just give you a different CUSIP number, different name, and they can do that. I'm nervous about it because I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the rule book will be. If it's a good rule book for that trading, that could be really good for you guys, and it could happen soon. I've heard rumors, and rumors only. I'm not close to anybody in that situation, but because people tell me things, I've heard a little bit that there might be a movement toward letting it trade. I've always been skeptical about that happening. And my reason isn't complicated. My reason is I don't think they'll get signatures from lawyers, sign-offs from lawyers on that. But we'll find out. And then the other thing I heard back from one of you guys, and I won't say her name just in case I'm getting what she said wrong, but I think it's an idea that, I threw out kind of as a afterthought to John Berta when I spoke to him a while ago. So it may or may not be my idea, but the point is trying to do some sort of reverse Dutch auction might happen. A gray market trading that offers a little bit, gets some people, offers a little more, gets some people, and then it goes up. But I really think the answer is a settlement in the case of MMTLP. That's what I think. Oh, blue light glasses. That might be. I don't know. I've always been blessed with eyesight that allows me to read all of my life. And pretty good distance vision too, but it's always been a blessing that I don't need glasses to read. Hey CPO07, how are you doing? It's 4:10. So, someone asked me to read the second part of that news story, so I can do that. This press release may contain forward-looking statements that are based on current expectations, forecasts, and assumptions. No, that's not what you meant. The only part I didn't read is what David Reichman said, and I don't think you want me to read that. I can read that, though. That's the only part I didn't read. David Reichman, chairman, CEO of GTI, stated, "We have been working for a very long time to find a simple, direct way to reward our shareholder base who have been loyal to our company and the company's mission. Now, for instance, if a shareholder held 1,000 shares of common stock as of April 15, 2023, they will automatically be eligible to receive 100 more shares, which represents 10% of their holdings. GTI management and the board have long believed in letting our shareholders know we value them and appreciate their consistent report." Spiny Noman, didn't my mother warn you you'd go blind? Maybe I never told you all those long and lonely times. Maybe I never held you. But I never something that you were mine. Little things I should have said and done. I just never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Yeah, I've been staring too long at electric devices. And I don't know. I think it's an astigmatism. That's what I think it is. Anyway, so I don't know. I got 15 more minutes with you. I don't know what else to talk to you about. Carrick Manu, how are you, mate? We should go karaoke. I'd like to go honky tonking. You know, Anna, one time I went back when with a friend of mine who was drinking back then. He always drank more than I did, but I was drinking. We went. He said, "Come on, let's go to a karaoke bar." I'd never been, I'd never planned on going to one. I'm sure I walked in on one before, but anyway, we went, and he requested a song. He said, "Come on with me. Come on up." Sing this song with me. And he's a musician. He has his own band now. But the song he chose was "She Wore Blue Velvet." And that's all he sang. I didn't know how to sing it. And he couldn't sing the rest of it. So we got hissed and booed off the stage. Like that scene in Blues Brothers when they sing in the country store. I'd like to go Pecos Bill. I'd love to go honky tonkin'. I think it'd be fun. I've been to Memphis a couple of times, but only to go down to, I think it's Henderson, Tennessee. Anyway, there was an oil and gas company down there, and I went down twice to meet the guy. And but I never went out. I think it'd be fun to go through Memphis. Kramer versus Kramer. Damn Yankee. I love to play with my ding-a-ling. Oh, my ding-a-ling. Oh, my ding-a-ling. Oh, Wild Bill, answer to me like I'm a Labrador. I don't really have anything on GNS other than they settled. And that's difficult because GNS, for ever how powerful you think the story is, there's a lot of companies out there with similar stories. You know, contracts this, education that, all sorts of companies out there. And I'm not picking on the company, but in the face of constant shorting, it's very difficult to fight. And when you settle, the settlement says we amicably settle, you're good, I'm good, no harm, no foul. And usually the shorts just keep shorting afterwards. That's the biggest mistake, is to think that the person across from you at the table, when you're dealing with the criminals who are the shorts, is thinking they're a gentleman. Why would they honor this contract? They didn't honor anything else. But anyway. Basamo 95 at 149 would be good. And, you know, maybe you can... I'd love to go to Nashville, Pecos Bill. I'd love to do that. You know, when I lived in London... This will sound kind of odd, but the thing I missed the most, you know how in country music, they go dum, 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 and then they start in? I missed that. I missed country music. They just didn't have much of it going on the radio. Joel, trade settlement is the process of moving securities into a buyer's account. Yeah, it's Joe 99. Good Go Logic catalyst in the near future. I think the Go Logic catalyst is going to be short covering, and I think it could start next week. I'm not sure if I've ever been to Fort Worth. I'm confused if I might have been. Dallas, Houston, Austin, Amarillo, the city up close to Kansas, Galveston, and the one with the canal that goes through it. I don't know if I've ever been to Fort Worth. I mean, obviously I've landed in and out of it, but I don't think I've ever... Unless it's so close to Dallas you can't tell the difference. I don't know. Those days don't have to be over, Cindy Lou. The good thing about music is, you know, it's still with you. They don't have to be over. Don't we need instructions from GTII? I could do something with the dividend shares so that it will cause the squeeze. They didn't put that in the press release, but I think by having the DTC issue the restricted shares to broker-dealers, I think it might do it automatically. I mean, just for example, let's just pretend there's one broker-dealer out there. Let's call it TD Ameritrade. There's only one. And let's say there's 300 to 350 million shares naked, counterfeit. I mean, you can pick a lower number. I'm not going to argue that you're right or wrong. I'm just going to argue whether or not it really matters, whether it's 100 million or 350 or 50 million or 350. Any number that's counterfeit has to be bought back in. It's going to have an explosive price. But just using the number 350 million counterfeit, it's 1 for 10. But that's the counterfeit part. Then there's all the real shares, and there are real shares out there. And I'm going to guess in the public float, there might be 35 million to 50 million in the public float. So there's going to be, the DTC is going to issue 3.5 million to 5 million real restricted shares. And that's, I'm using only one broker dealer, TD Ameritrade. I'm pretending there's only one. So that'll cover the real shares. But then what about the 35 million or 30 million restricted shares that the broker system has to cough up that don't exist? So it might catch out the system without you having to do anything at all, and we'll find out. I would have thought they would have given you instructions. That's exactly what they'll do, Wendy Brewer. They will put a placeholder in your account, and you won't know that it's not real, and they'll hope over the next 6 months that they can sort it, or by the time the legend comes off, that they can basically be complicit in the crime by, if you want to sell, they'll just honor your order. And hopefully they may be thinking we can buy the shares cheaper. They have a problem, and it will be resolved. And you're absolutely right. It could be done as a placeholder that buys the system time, and maybe it doesn't cause a squeeze. But I think it also could cause a squeeze. Now, Fidelity is aware, Wells Fargo's aware, from the time when we did the dividend, the warrant as a dividend. So we'll find out. No, I don't. They shouldn't have a different CUSIP number, Tom M. They'll just be restricted. I don't have here, somewhere here I could show you, restricted shares. You don't get physical certificates anymore. That's why you're a little confused. But basically, back when there were physical certificates, you get them, and then they'd have a legend on it under Rule 144, couldn't sell them for 6 months. The company has to take that legend off so that you can liquidate them. That'll all be done inside the system now. And I'm sure, as this other gentleman just pointed out, they may be planning on trying to drag it all out. I don't know. I don't know what the scheme is there. I've never been to Lobster Fest. That would be fun. I used to love hot lobsters. I can't eat them anymore. I know that's what we thought. And the whole thing is, oh, I'm sorry your husband died. That's terrible. Somebody just died. That I now remember who it was. My brother sent it to me. My family, my dad's family, grew up or spent a lot of time in Adams, New York, and apparently we're related to President Adams. I didn't know that. My brother found that out. So this guy just died, and he sent it to me Thursday, April 27th, the record. I don't know who this is. This is Thomas Gregory Hood Sr. And it's hard to read. He died on February 21st. The Reverend Dr. Thomas Gregory Hood Sr. passed from this life peacefully in his sleep to join his beloved Lord and Savior. Anyway, this is what I wanted to say to you, Cindy Lou Who. He was often heard to say, quote, "This world is not my home," unquote. So Tom is home at last. And then it talks about his faith. And then he was a minister for, I think, 30 years. I'm not sure it's here. Let me see what my brother said. He was a pastor for 30 years in Adams, New York. I don't know. Just sort of a non sequitur. No, they won't have a different CUSIP number. I already answered that, didn't I, Tom? All right, 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to say sayonara. I'm going to see, let me see how those after-hour stocks are trading. It was amazing watching Top yesterday. Top is trading now down 16 at 95. But we'll see how it does during the day. And then, during the after hours. MEGL, I bet, is down. It is. It's down 88 cents in the aftermarket at 315. I can't tell the volume, but the volume during the day was 100 million shares. And then HKD, another one. I bet it's down. Yep, down 45 cents at 7.95. All right, 4 minutes. Cindy Lou Who, my husband had a government job where he traveled a lot. He died last January of cancer. 6 months. Oh, did he have not prostrate, the other one. The other one. You know, the other one, Kansas, that just gets you quickly, the same one that Judge Ginsburg had. Pancreatic. I mean, I don't know. It's horrible to only have 6. It must be terrible. But on the other hand, it's quick, so that's a blessing. I don't know. I don't like thinking about it, and I'm sorry he had to go through that. My Fidelity rep says dividend delivered Monday. And it says restricted, not IOUs, not fake shares. Well, we'll see, Hail Hydra. That might, if that's true, they're going to have to buy in a lot of stock. Chuck Donal, thank you. I doubt we squeeze Monday as well, but you never know. I'll rest my eyes. Gallbladder, ugh. Thank you, Barbara L. My 2 uncles died of cancer, and one of them, their sister, who's my aunt, she said it was perfect. She said, "Stupid cancer," and I think that's just about perfect. She was 70-year-old woman saying, "Stupid cancer." All right, 2 more minutes, and then you're going to have to do without my just turned 65. Wow. You know, my 2 uncles each of them died at 63. Oh boy. See, wouldn't want to be. Thank you, Dale and Lippens. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Yourself. It is horrible. It's just horrible. Men die first, which is probably why women have more money, more financial assets in the United States than men. Remember, we live in a patriarchy. But that might be one of the reasons. The other reasons is men do jobs where there's a risk of losing life, including going to war. Yeah, hit the road, Jack. These shorts, it's so brazen, as Ham was saying. Gensler does nothing about it. But it's interesting what Ham said, that possibly it's the SEC suing the Kramers. But then, of course, they give them a light slap on the wrist, all done, pat themselves on the back, and they go on down the road. Hey, Perry Cuomo, Perry Cooper, I'm doing all right. Yeah. Women are smarter. Women are pretty damn smart. You watch the reruns. Through the years, we traveled so much, many, many memories. Planned the travel around festivals, different states. So much fun. That's great. So you have great memories. Thank you, Danny Lee. That's a gift. That's a gift. Nothing in this life lasts forever, and that's unfortunate, but it's just how it's set up. No, I don't think that's right, damn Yankee. That was the example of 1,000 shares. If you have 100, you'll get 10 shares. If you have 10, you'll get 1 share. I do think they'll cut the limit off at fractional shares. So if you have 9 shares, I don't think you're going to get 0.9 shares. So I bet if you have to have at least 10 shares. Well, you can still travel and maybe do it with groups. Hey, Manuel Ray. I gave this list, and it's 4:31, so I may go, but there's the dividend that just got. The Kramers are no longer trading. FBI, 1-800-LAW firm is expected in 2 weeks. West lawsuit and the dividend related to that. The ongoing acquisitions strategy of GTII. The Trento Mines deal is out there, which I personally think is still very much alive. It's on their website. Buy-ins caused by price, but then there's also this buy-in that's very vocal, this 19 million shares. So you could count that as one, but 19 million shares needing to buy. And then the end of the month, they're trying to keep the price down. And I think come Monday, that pressure to keep the price down will step away. So those are my catalysts, potential catalysts. I'll stay off all electric devices. Thank you, AC. No, the Kramers haven't covered. It's just they've clearly stepped away from the trade. So they're no longer the ones selling. Their buddies might have been in there. Alpine certainly may be. Ham thinks the only manipulator left is this Swiss group that called the company to try to buy 19 million shares at least twice. This Swiss group might be the last manipulator in the stock price. And so I think we're down to the last shucks. Let me see what this says. Nick Jeff Kramer is over with the SEC. Wow. Seek and ye shall find. Almost to 300. That's good. That's because there is something more. And that, yes, MKC. I mean, I don't want to preach because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I agree with you. What's going on? All right, so the Swiss are, I think it's damn Yankee, I'm so slow. Earlier this week, I figured out Alpine Securities, Alpine, and then Switzerland, Alps. So I don't know why it took so long to connect that, but maybe it was Switzerland that set up John Hurry and his wife with Alpine Securities just to defraud American investors and then the Kramers join in. The Kramers are no geniuses. They're just greedy posers who think it's okay to drive in the gravel part of the road, and it's not. You got to drive down the center of the highway as it relates to securities laws. All right, Perry Cooper and Cindy Lou Who and Jenny Rebecca and everybody else. I'm gonna sign off because Lucky's anxious and it's 4:35. So I'm gonna say peace, love, and happiness. All the best. That's interesting because they're neutral, CB. That's interesting. If they're not geniuses, you're on an equal. Well, you can kick their butt mentally. All right, everybody. So anyway, cheers. And there's more to be revealed.